India's train crash. 3 trains were involved in the fatal crash in Orissa state. It was the deadliest such disaster in decades in a country where train travel has grown far safer in recent years. A devastating train crash in eastern India on Friday was the country's worst rail disaster in 2 decades, killing more than 280 people. It renewed questions about rail safety in a country that has invested heavily in the system in recent years after a long history of deadly crashes. At least 288 people are confirmed dead. A passenger train derailed around 7 p.m. local time Friday and struck 2 other trains in the Balasore district of Orissa state, officials said. At least 288 people were killed, according to the train operator, and more than 800 passengers were injured, 56 of them suffering grievous injuries. Details on the cause of the crash remain unclear, but officials have said that it involved 2 passenger trains and a stationary freight train. More than 2,200 passengers in all were on board the passenger trains, according to railway officials, and at least 17 cars were derailed in the disaster. The force of the collision left cars so mangled that rescuers used cutting equipment to reach victims. One of the trains was a Shalimar-Chennai Coromandel Express train, according to South Eastern Railway. The Coromandel Express service has been known for connecting the biggest cities on India's east coast at a relatively high speed. The other passenger train was a Yeswantpur-Howrah Superfast Express train, running from a commuter hub in Bangalore to the eastern state of West Bengal, near Kolkata. India's railway minister, Ashwani Vaishnav, said that he had ordered an investigation into the cause and that those affected by the crash would receive compensation. The train derailed near Balasore. The crash occurred near Balasore, a city near the coast in eastern Orissa state, formerly Orissa, which is known for its ancient temples and its history as a 17th-century British seaport. The shoreline along the Bay of Bengal is prone to tropical cyclones, especially in October and November. Balasore, in the northeastern part of the state, has a railway station but is several hours by car to the nearest airport, in Bhubaneswar, Odisha's capital. May is usually the hottest time of year, and daily high temperatures were around 100 Fahrenheit in the days before the crash. Officials said that all hospitals in the area were on standby. A day of mourning was declared in Orissa, which home to 45 million people, and dozens of trains were cancelled. Derailments have become less common. Often referred to as the lifeline of India's economy, the country's vast rail network is one of the world's largest and is vital to lives and livelihoods in India, particularly in the more rural pockets. Nearly all of India's rail lines, 98%, were built from 1870 to 1930, according to a 2018 study published in the American Economic Review. The deadliest accident in the history of Indian rail is believed to have been in 1981, when a passenger train derailed as it was crossing a bridge in the state of Bihar. Its car sank into the Bagmati River, killing an estimated 750 passengers. Many bodies were never recovered. Derailments were once frequent in India, with an average of 475 per year from 1980 to about 2002. They have become much less common, with an average of just over 50 a year in the decade leading up to 2021, according to a paper by railway officials presented at the World Congress on Disaster Management. Rail safety more generally has improved in recent years, with the total number of serious train accidents dropping steadily to 22 in the 2020 fiscal year from more than 300 annually 2 decades ago. By 2020, for 2 years in a row, India had recorded no passenger deaths in such episodes. It was a first, and the government of Prime Minister Narendra Modi hailed it as an achievement. Until 2017, more than 100 passengers were killed every year. Even so, deadly crashes have persisted. In 2016, 14 train cars derailed in India's northeast in the middle of the night, killing more than 140 passengers and injuring 200 others. Officials at the time said that a fracture in the tracks might have been responsible. In 2017, a late-night derailment in southern India killed at least 36 passengers and injured 40 others. Friday's accident was the deadliest at least since a crash in 1999 in West Bengal that killed 285 people.